Hey guys, what's up? Hdemarzo from the Tech Cruiser channel. I apologize for the quality of the video, but we're not actually in the Tech Cruiser. We've been having some repair issues in the past month and a half or so. So it has been in the shop. That's why you haven't seen any car videos in the car. That's why they're called car, but never mind. So, BlackBerry, Research in Motion, the RIM people, they just had their big launch event for BlackBerry 10. Now, before I get into the phone itself and the new OS, let me just start out by saying, man, that was the single worst launch event I've ever seen in my life. And I try and catch most of them. Not that I'm trying to turn this into an OS war, but you really can't beat Steve Jobs as far as presenting and talking at a keynote event. Man, he just had that stuff down. He's just one of those people. He's charismatic on stage, and he just draws you in, and it's never dull and boring. The head guy in charge, the COO of, or CEO, I don't know what his exact title is, of RIM, is probably the world's most boring speaker in the entire universe. He used the words, one more thing, a lot. Instead of presenting the material, they made it look like you were getting an inside look as between a conversation of two members of the BlackBerry company, and that you were just privy to that conversation. It wasn't a really well planned out launch event. A lot of what they talked about didn't wow and amaze anybody. I was watching the comments in the chat channel on the side, and it was brutal. It was just brutal. I tried to forego any judgments, but they just made it so difficult to do that. Alright, so the phone itself, it's a very nice looking device. A lot of what they came up with is new for BlackBerry. There was a few things that were kind of cool. Like they have true, in fact, multitasking. That was probably the only thing on the plus side of this keynote event, was that they have true multitasking. You know, apps running real time in the background. You never have to quit, leave an application to get into another one. I really like that. Everything else was just kind of blah. When you're looking at like the Samsung Galaxy S3 and you're looking at like the Nexus devices and the iPhone, they have such amazing features, and the BlackBerry, I feel, just completely failed to deliver on anything that's going to really bring them out of the slump and hole that they've been in. They did have some pretty good profile switching, as far as keeping your personal profile and your work profile separate, but still linked. You could have your work profile and your personal profile on your BlackBerry running simultaneously in the multitasking background, which was kind of cool. Everything else is just kind of, little tiny features, like in the contact, you go into your contacts and it'll bring up, all of the known associations that you have with that person. If you swipe over to the next screen in the contact, it will bring up information about their company, about things that they've posted on their personal profiles. So that was kind of nifty. Everything else is just blah. I literally turned it off about 3/4 of the way through. The price point is another thing. The pricing and availability. It looks like they mainly geared this toward Europe, like the UK, a lot of those Eastern European countries, and over there. The UK, or it looks like the US was really a second thought, which was probably a poor decision on their part, because the US, people in the United States generally make up a huge portion of mobile markets. Now, I'm not saying that we are the only mobile market, but we do a pretty good job of throwing our hand into the deck. The pricing was another very strange thing. I don't know if it was for AT&T and Verizon, but he said that the US carriers, the four major ones, T-Mobile, Sprint, Verizon, and AT&T, to get into the new BlackBerry 10, which is not even available until March, whereas in the UK it's available February 5th. You can get this brand new phone. But on AT&T, like for example AT&T, it's $149.99 with a 3-year contract. Now, for a device that didn't blow the socks off of everybody that was there, I'm pretty sure that people were leaving the launch event halfway through. There were portions, when they're announcing the new features, and this is feature number 2, people clap and cheer because it was really cool. Most of the features did not even get applause. It was just dead silence. Awkward silence. So it's $149.99 on a 3-year contract. I'm sorry, there's not going to be a lot of people that are going to do this for their own personal phones in a 3-year contract for a device that sucks. Not going to happen. I think we have seen the last of RIM, unless they very, very quickly do something amazing. Like, ha, fooled you, that was not really what we had in mind. Here, check out this new amazing device that makes you breakfast in the morning. And it's only $50. That probably is the only thing that is going to save BlackBerry. Then the other really huge announcement that RIM announced today at their Keynote launch event was they're no longer called RIM. They're no longer Research in Motion. BlackBerry has absorbed that mantle, and Research in Motion worldwide is now known as BlackBerry. BlackBerry, new way of thinking. And one more thing. He said one more thing, easily. In the course of the 45 minutes that I was watching, easily 30 times. So, worst keynote speech I've ever seen in my life. You can probably check it. They're probably going to have it out on YouTube, on BlackBerry's site, so you can go ahead and check it out. I warn you, you probably want to have a really strong alcoholic beverage just to get through the material. It was that boring. I was lucky that I was at home and wasn't one of those poor suckers that traveled out to the event, because it was so bad. It was so bad. There's not enough adjectives in the English language to describe how bad and uncomfortable this keynote was. So hopefully RIM realizes, based upon this keynote speech, that they really need to work a lot harder. It's just to stay in any kind of a market. So I'm going to keep following the story, definitely, to see if they bring their act back together. If you were tuned in today and you were a part of that tragedy that was a keynote video, leave your comments down below. Let me know what you think, man. So like I said, some of the comments down below, it was just brutal. It was just brutal. Like, for example, they were talking about the applications that are available right now for it. And somebody said, look out, guys, Angry Birds is coming for the BlackBerry. That was And it gets much, much worse. People saying sell your stock and telling the COO to just jump in front of a bus because it's horrible. Somebody said that he was possessed by demons. That's pretty viable. Most boring individual I've ever seen in my life. They couldn't have had somebody like he comes out and says this is the new research in motion and given a very short keynote speech. Maybe something to think about. Would have made the keynote speech that much better. So until next time, hopefully it's a better next time, keep it real.